Hi, I'm Lisa, and I'm going to take you on a journey, and not a journey about you in your business, and not a journey about your client, or often referred to as a customer journey, but a journey about your words. Because the ideas that you have in your mind about your services and your products become words, and the words are used to communicate the value of the work that you do and why someone should buy from you. And I want to show you the pathway that those words take to become the feelings that someone has that, yes, indeed, you are the person that I want to hire. I want to work with you. I want to use your stuff. So come with me on this journey, and I'll talk to you about all the different steps and what to be looking out for and where things can go wrong. And when they do, what to do about it. All right, so here we are looking at this illustration, these 6 steps that comprise the main stages of the journey of words. And these are the words that are going to ideally win your ideal clients. Now, it starts with what you think about. So we're up here in the upper left corner looking at the words that you have in your mind, right? And these come from what you see and what you feel. So your your heart and your observations that make up the thoughts that you have in your head. So that's stage 1, where your words are coming from. Stage 2 here is getting those words, those thoughts and ideas out of your head through methods like writing in your journal, writing on your computer, maybe even writing or vocalizing into your smartphone. Anything like that to help you download those thoughts onto the screen or paper. And at some point in stage 2, there's a second part to this where those musings, those thoughts, those ideas start to get organized a little bit into a document, usually electronically, almost always electronically, so that those words can then be taken and turned into content and information that can be shared more broadly. So that's what takes us into stage 3. Stage 3 is taking those words and basically running them through a funnel or filter, or even if you want to imagine like a juicer, like taking all that raw material and putting it through the process of turning those ideas, those thoughts, those drafts of words into copy. So this is where the copywriting happens. And that can happen via a human and or AI tools. Then when we have the copy, that copy needs to get formatted in some way to be able to be shared. So there's 2 parts to step 4, stage 4 here, which is formatting the content and then publishing the content, which can be anything from putting it online somewhere, or even if you want to imagine going out on stage and verbalizing the words that you've written. So it's all the different ways that we are communicating to our audience. That's what's happening in stage 4. Now, our audience is receiving the words. That's stage 5 here. They're receiving the words. They're hearing it with their ears. They're seeing it with their eyes, especially if design's involved. And that is it's working in their brain, right? It's computing in their brain. And ultimately, when those words are understood and felt, that's when we get them the words in their heart, And that's stage 6. And this is where those words turn into the desire for yes, I want to work with you. I want to use your products. I want to move forward in some way. And that's our goal, right? Our words are designed to move the hearts and minds of our ideal people, of our audience and the clients and the customers and collaborators and all the people that we want to have an impact with. It has to reach their hearts in order to make those moves, because any buying, whatever the buying action looks like, comes from an emotional place, right? So the heart has to be involved. So this is essentially the journey of the words. Now, everyone thinks that the magic of the words is happening at stage 3, where you take the raw material, remember like the juicer analogy, you take that raw material and you're feeding it in and formatting it and dissecting it and distilling it and editing it down into further and further degrees of clarity and simplification and compelling language, right? That's the whole process of copywriting. Everybody thinks like this is where the magic happens. But in fact, this is not where the magic happens. The magic is actually happening in stage 2. Stage 2, that act of taking the ideas that you have in your head and transferring them to paper or to the screen, organizing those ideas in some fashion that someone, you or someone else helping you, can take those words and then format them into copy. This magic is where you are coming into the picture, your essence, the way that you think, your unique perspective on things, your energy, your heart, your observations. It's all happening here, so that what we're feeding into the funnel here has that magic already. And now what we're doing in stage 3 is really just refining and packaging that magic into language that is better suited for public consumption, for the ideal client, that ideal audience to understand it. Okay, so this is so important, because this magic and magnetism is really what, at the end of the day, gets into people's hearts. And so we really want to have this be a part of the journey of words. So here's the things that can happen along the way to the words that are going to win your ideal clients. The first thing that often will happen at the early stage 1 and stage 2, is just a lack of clarity, confusion, right? A feeling of overwhelm, stuck. There's all kinds of stuff that can be happening over here, causing this cloud of confusion. And sometimes the cloud of confusion is so big, it clouds up stage 2, meaning this process of taking those ideas out of your head and onto paper or the screen doesn't happen either. Or maybe it's partially happening, but the full process of that is not happening. So when this is the case, when there's all this feeling of stuck and feeling like in the fog with stages 1 and 2, then what happens is none of the other stages can happen. So the words just stop, right? They're kind of stuck. They're stuck in your brain and not out into the 3D world, right? So therefore they can't be turned into anything else, and they can't get into the hearts and minds of your ideal clients. So that's one thing that happens. If you're at that stage, I am just going to encourage you to move into stage 2 and continue the practice of putting those words down on the screen and paper. I have for doing this, I call it the MAD methods, minutes a day, daily writing practice. I'll put a link to where you can find more information about that. But that is such an important part, because it really is where the magic of those ideas coming together are really happening, right? In stage 2. Okay. What else can happen here? Sometimes because of that feeling of fog and confusion, there's a desire to skip stages 1 and 2 because it feels too difficult, and there's just, where do I start? What do I write about? All of those kinds of questions come up. And so there's a tendency to move directly into stage 3, really bypassing stage 1 and 2, 3 into stage 1 by saying, okay, well, I'm just going to have someone write the copy for me, or I'm going to have AI write the copy for me. But the problem is, skipping stages 1 and 2 means we have lost the magic and the magnetism that is you. We've lost your essence. So if you are moving into the copy phase without allowing those ideas, all of that magic and magnetism to really percolate forward and have something to work with, right? Have all of that to go into the juicer or into the funnel here, then we miss out. We, again, are missing the thing that is most connecting and resonating with people's hearts and minds. And so the buying doesn't happen, okay? Here's something else that can happen at stage two. Stage two is often already a stage where there's just a lot of rawness, right? There's disorganization. You're just downloading ideas. You're trying to figure out how you think about things, connect the dots, flesh out concepts that have come to you, all of that, right? It's messy. It's a messy process. It's supposed to be messy. That's how this part of the writing process works. And this is, as I've been saying, a really important part for the journey, for your words. They have to be in that soupy mess. Well, if we go straight from the soupy mess, the disorganized mess, and try to just go into stage four, where taking those words and that raw material without doing any sort of refinement, right? That's happening in stage three. Well, now we are putting out there, we're trying to format and publish words that have not been edited. They have not been refined to create that level of understanding and clarity and resonance with our ideal audience, our ideal clients and customers. So because of this, then we have confusion that's happening at stage five, where those words are not computing in the way that we want them to in the brain of the hearts, or in the brain of the audience and the ideal clients, and quite frankly, in your brain too, right? And so that makes selling very difficult when you are still in a place where there's confusion, there's just a jumble of ideas, and you haven't gone through stage three to get that all parceled out and organized. Then putting that soupy mess in front of someone, of course, is not going to register for them. And so then when we don't have clarity mentally, it's very hard to feel clarity emotionally, which is why it very often doesn't translate to stage six, right? When you bypass step three and try to just take that soupy mess and put it out there in front of people. Here's something else that can happen in the journey of words, and that is at stage four, we can be formatting the words. So now we've gone through the process of moving our words through stages 1, 2, and 3. So we have beautiful, articulate words to work with, and maybe we've even formatted those. We've either done it ourselves or hired somebody to help put design and shape and package that up for consumption. But if we don't hit publish, if we don't actually put it out there in front of people, well then of course we can't expect anything to happen at stage 5 and 6. No one will see it. No one will hear it. No one will understand it, and therefore no one is going to buy. So the lack of publishing, of hitting 4B or B of stage 4 here, can often come up as a result of thinking that I'm not ready. I'm not ready for this to be out there. What are people going to think? Fear of visibility, fear of rejection, fear of getting ghosted. All of these reasons why we say, I'm not going to publish yet. Okay? So if we don't have those words in front of people, well then of course they're not going to be able to understand what it is that we have to offer and why that's of value and why they care. All right, so sometimes too there can be this whole movement through the process. The journey can get all the way to stage 5, and yet there's still not full understanding on behalf of your audience, your ideal clients and customers. And it could be that there's a misalignment between your work and how you talk about it and what the client's needs, the audience's needs and understandings, and what their problems are and what they desire to hear and what are they trying to solve for. And without that understanding of who the ideal client is, and your inability to speak to that, that creates confusion in their mind, right? There's a misalignment there, which naturally results in confusion. And when there is a confused mind, the confused mind does not buy. So we don't have movement into stage 6, into their heart. All right, let me move myself over here. You can see into their heart. That's the goal, right? That's where we want our words to land. We want our words to land in their heart. And so we've got to also look at stage 5 here and see where there's confusion. Where can I create better alignment between my understanding and how I'm talking about the issues that my ideal clients and customers have, along with what they care about and what they need to hear. Okay, so to wrap up, I want to just share again this visual of the complete picture of the journey of words that win your ideal clients. And I invite you to consider where you are finding your challenges as you're moving your words, as you're moving them from your brain, from your heart and your eyes, and how those travel through your brain onto the screen, out into the world. Where are your challenges? And let me know, because I have help. I have specific tools and processes for every single stage along the way, so that I can help you get those words into the hearts and the minds of your ideal clients, because that's the goal. That's winning. All right, I'll see you next time. Thanks.